Hello, everyone. This is new. This is something.
This is new.
This is
New
a thing
stuff.
we're doing. If
Oh,
you look
yeah.
to the bottom of your screen, you'll see something called the Summit Sitdown, and then there's like a PNG of Firewatch and 480p.
That is the base of the summit. That's what that is.
This is what we like to call low budget, like the dive, but not the dive. If we flipped that, you know what I'm saying? And we just talked about anything that wasn't League of Legends. We probably will end up talking about League of Legends somehow. Let's be
I
honest.
love League of Legends, bro. That's all
Yeah.
I do.
It's just a little less serious.
Yeah.
You know, just to talk about a little more in depth about us as people, because we
Yeah.
are people. We are not just summoners.
I'm just a
that's
goblin,
not
bro.
right. That's
Yeah.
not right. We're just summoners at the end of the day.
That's all we are.
All my solo queue teammates seem to think I'm just the worst person in the world, and they must be true. I mean, I
Yeah.
must have caused all these diseases in the world. But
I usually just get told to get all of the diseases.
yeah, no, I apparently am patient zero for all of them, so
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Shut up, mid too easy.
Too easy. Rest
One of
in
the
peace.
first ones to tell me. Yeah.
What do you say? Good comms?
Get.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
good comms during a
comms.
pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what we have for y'all today, it's gonna be like a bit of an experiment, some would say. But we're just going to like kind of talk about how this all became. You know, this isn't like Big Bang Theory bullshit. This is more like a how do we get here? You know, what brought us to this point where all three of us are talking to each other? What is like the big thing that brought us here? And we all know it's Summit. I'm kind of yapping right now, but it's Summit. We all enjoy the thrill of the game, but we're not continually just playing for the game. It's the community, you know.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
one thing I wanted to bring Rob on here for, you know. Usually it's gonna be me and Brissy, and the first guess I thought of was like, we gotta get Rob on here because he's been here for so long and he's won two of the times that he's played. So like it kind of just makes sense, like since he came back this season, to bring him on here, and so we can get some more introspection on like what Summit means to some of these people, you know, what it helps people do, you know, like maybe it drives that competitive itch, and that's what we're gonna get into.
Yeah.
So, Rob, let me ask you, what was your first Summit experience? I believe it was probably La Liga back then.
Yeah. So at the time, I was doing collegiate esports for Boise State. We had seen many iterations of the roster, so some recognizable names to some, but there's also so many new people in Summit that wouldn't recognize it. We got like Wujin, Jedhawk. There was like some keyboard guy. He always played with his keyboard on his lap. We had Dean, Red Hots, Lemons, like all these players that La Liga players would know, because I think for the most part La Liga's origin stories were in BSU esports, kind of made by Wujin, Nightmare, Strayan, and I think one other that I'm forgetting. But these players were I don't think he was there initially, but a huge driving force later, obviously, and the website and stuff. So what a lot of these players were actually on the second or third string rosters at Boise State, and they wanted to create like a competitive environment for people to participate that wouldn't have been participating at Boise State esports, because there's so many league players. Obviously, I mean the game was so popular, and this is also at the peak of like League of Legends popularity. So like a few years ago, probably
Like 2018.
5 or 6 years, I want to say. So initially I didn't start in La Liga. I was asked if I wanted to play. I think at the time we had like the big names, like I'm talking mid to easy, never saw level like big names in the league, were Gimmick, Wujin. Congo was there early, but he wasn't like a starter in the league, or an owner rather. So, I mean, all of these players were super competitive, super down to earth, super chill. La Liga back in the day was like gold or below mostly. I think some plat, some diamonds.
Oh wow.
It is.
Yeah. Like
It's vastly changed. Yeah, the diamond 4 player was like the peak. That was. Yeah, I think at one point Gimmick hit like D2, and then subbed in for a team. Completely took over the league. They picked like Jinx Lulu every game, which is like a common, strategy to winning in Summit or La Liga at the time.
You wouldn't know anything about that, though, right? No.
Yeah, no, I'm
no.
not a Jinx salesman or anything. No.
one specific skin. No other.
Yeah,
skins.
yeah, only Slayer Jinx.
It's funny you say that because when I think about my time in college and my collegiate esports career, mine was definitely spent based on like our own like in-house tournaments and our own like collegiate esports thing. I think Brissy died.
Nope.
Let's get up for a sec.
Oh, he's
I
good.
got
Oh wow!
Let's go.
Happy Halloween, everyone. By the
Yeah,
way,
happy Halloween.
I'm dressed up as myself. I haven't showered.
Yeah, no,
so-
I needed
perfect
to throw
cosplay
some
today.
cookies in the
Yeah, I
oven.
think
Sorry
I've-
to interrupt.
I've been in my room for like 17 hours, so I'm like a goblin,
Oh, goblins.
Don't leave the cave.
But what-
I'd like to ask. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
to ask a little question. So, what do you have like an earliest memory that sticks with you from like La Liga or those earlier seasons in, I guess, just in your competitive career with any game, really?
Yeah.
So, dude, there's so much, and sometimes it blends together, and you start to get the names mixed up because you're like, oh yeah, I was playing with this person. I saw at least 8 different iterations of like the Boise State roster for collegiate esports, and sorry to bring up Boise State esports, but like it was at the time when we were still La Liga, and I say we, but like Summit was still La Liga. It was like there was so much overlap. The Venn diagram was so close. So it's almost like you can't
80%.
talk about one without the other. Yeah, I think the first meetup for La Liga had about 20 people, maybe 15, and the totality of like Summit at the time was like probably 30, 40 people playing. So,
Oh wow.
and then everyone that was playing was from Boise, pretty much. There were very few online players.
Yeah.
So-
That explains why the best players were Diamond 4. You got like a small pool of them.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Dean's an Idaho local, so he was like the golden child, I guess. But he wasn't at Boise State at the time. He was playing for Columbia College. But on to like fondest memories. Dude, there's so many. The cool thing about La Liga is like the experience of playing in it, and the lows and the highs. They're like always there. I don't think winning like the first tournament as the first time around in La Liga is probably the peak because it was the first time, and that was as Zhangxi Wu Dai. We had Gix jungle, Hollow Eve support, X-Ray top, and my mid laner was Nilek.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another team where we had really figured out our champions and like our play style. It was almost 1-to-1 the same way we won as when we won as Rollins Goblins.
Nice.
So, I mean that was like peak experience in Summit, was winning that season of La Liga for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say I think this is a good jump off section because you won with Roblin's Goblins and it felt like that could be like the peak. Like it was a great win.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great win. It was like a fairy tale story. Like one last one for the boys. You got Dean the Chip, and then here we are. Both of you are playing again. Both of you took us like not a semester, but like a split off. And you two are playing each other this weekend, actually, which is kind of crazy. So it's a bit of a storyline in a way. And I was always like wondering, like, during the time off, was there always the itch, like you'd see a Summit game and you're like, man, that AD carry's trash. I could play that champion better. And you're like, put me in, coach. Is that how it slowly came back to you to sign up this season?
I was genuinely done with the game, and it's nothing against the game or the people that I played with or the experience. I just felt like I had done everything that I had wanted to do. I had proved to myself enough that given like the right composition and the right ideas, like I can lead a team to victory. If you don't know Boise State Esports, like we were a competitive team. We had really good players. Dean was one of them. We never won anything. So like the consolation prizes, you know, you win La Liga, you win Summit, you win these smaller leagues instead. So like I at least proved to myself that my time in esports had done something for me as a teammate, as a leader, as a competitor. So I felt like I was done. And honestly, for what was the break? 3 months between the leagues?
Month break, I feel like
It was definitely a little bit longer.
It was decent. Yeah, I was like kind of checking my watch because I was planning on watching and participating in the Discord still. I mean, we see so many people typing and chattering back and forth, and now there's all these channels about like fitness and stuff.
Yeah.
And just living life and being like happy, good going people.
Yep.
But no, the itch came on really suddenly. Have you ever seen the clip with Tyler One where he's just like, Riot, fix your game. I can't quit. I'm addicted. Yeah. Dude, that feeling came on so strongly. I can't remember the exact moment that it was, but like somebody was talking about a summit, like making a summit team or something. And I was like, dude, it's time for me to come back. It's been one season, and
it's like
I don't know.
Gone that long.
Yeah, I was not gone long. I genuinely, I thought I was done, and I thought I had done everything that I wanted to do, and I still, to an extent, kind of feel that way. Like coming back is more of like a, haha, let's have fun, you know. Yeah. It'd be cool if we won again, but no, it was a really sudden itch, and I think it's just like the league is an addicting game, and
unfortunately,
the competitiveness of like Summit it just brings you back.
Yeah.
Do you guys know if Mid Too Easy is done with the game? Is he still playing in other leagues?
I'm not.
I don't know.
Sure, I know Gamer D reached out to him, said he was all good because I know he left.
Yeah.
If not majority, if not all.
TLDR, he's like, I'm just not like competing right now, so like I just want to distance myself. I don't think it's anything crazy, to be honest.
And I was curious because like, you know, it feels similar. Like I was wondering if he had completely disconnected because Dean had also completely disconnected. I didn't see him on for 2 months.
No, that dude could have done like crazy things. You know, he could have built like a shed in the backyard. You know, you never know. Like he could have done a crazy passion project.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I'd say that like that's the community aspect of Summit. Like me only being in the server for it's been a year now. I just like even if I were to step away from League, I don't think I could bring myself to leave the server. Like I've built so many good relationships with all the people so early on after I had joined, and then after doing the Summit meetup in Boise, it's just it would feel weird to like cut myself off from all of these people because I mean I'm sure I could communicate with them in other ways, but just the server itself just holds so much value, I think, because like you pointed out, there's
hall.
Yeah, exactly. There's different channels to talk about so many different things, and just having that connection with all of these people is so huge. I don't think I could ever bring myself to leaving it now.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of, I felt this way about like, I used to do like recreational soccer at my college before my knee decided to stop working. But like the itch to compete was one thing, and the itch to like always have that thing to look forward to in the week. You know what I mean? Like definitely like right now, like every like Saturday, I'm like, all right, it's time to lock in. I'll put on certain music. You know, I'm like, I wake up a certain way. I get a, you know, it's something to look forward to. And I think a lot of that is because you get to interact with it, and it's not like you just play the game, you're done after that. No, you're talking to people afterwards. You're like, GG's. You talk to you play against some of your friends. You're talking to them about the game. You know, sometimes you're bragging. You're like, yeah, bro, you just got shit on. Like, what?
Dude, you're looking for the VOD of the enemy POV because you're just like, dude, I want to see what they're saying.
Oh yes, dude, I do that after every series. I'm like, okay, I gotta hear.
Dude, I just played Jason. I know this is juicy. Nico was streaming. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
No, but
And then
I'm
now
so happy.
we're jamming every morning now. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm just saying, I would just get so happy, like, knowing that other people, like, do that nerd shit, like, when they win, they go check the VOD, they go listen to other people, they'd be like,
who doesn't, bro? Who doesn't?
Yeah, you try to keep it under
Probably
wraps.
really
You don't talk
humble
about
people.
it. Yeah, you don't talk about it outwardly, but you know you're loading up their VOD after every series.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my first... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it. I was just gonna say, I'm not a trash talker. I just don't really like it, but I enjoy having a trash talk channel.
I like perusing. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes I love typing. The thing is, people will say things, and it's, like, so obvious sometimes, and there's, like, some compelling assholeness to me that's like, I gotta say something back. Like, sometimes... I'll bring up a perfect example. When Never Saw and Gumby played, and they were, like, saying who out-egoed each other, I was like, so if I hit my head, like, if I say, oh, my head hurts, and then I slam my head into the desk, I guess it's true, you know? My head does hurt. Like, but, like, those things are, like, I'm happy, like, Never Saw and Gumby are having those exchanges because it's, like, what brings you into next week, you know? It's, like... It's definitely, like, it ups the ante in a way. Because, like, I know people get invested, you know? Like...
Oh, yeah.
And, like, Never Saw will take that and be like, well, people have lower expectations of me. You know, I have to bring that into next week. And that genuinely affects how people play this $15 prize pool tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, that's on their mind for the week.
Life on the line. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of fascinating in a way?
Yeah. Well, Rob, I know you've had like other competitive experiences with some other games. Did you ever have anything like this when you played? I think it was like Halo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I to pin like the or make the connection from League Esports. They canceled the team. We put together like a Masters Grandmaster team. So my understanding is somebody got homesick, somebody didn't really like the team, so it kind of all fell apart. And there just wasn't really a reason to keep building this team if it wasn't going to stick together and win things, because they're really trying to build a team that was going to win. So I got an offer from Doc Haskell, director of Boise State Esports. He wanted, and it was actually Alex. Not Koba, who's been another historic member in the La Liga season and just being like behind the scenes and stuff, and some people will recognize him. Not Koba was the one who told Doc Haskell, let's make a Halo team. So Halo Infinite came out that year. We formed a team. I played with the True Mortar, who was a League of Legends player. He was our jungle. He's actually like a Grandmaster Phil player.
Dang.
So like
competition.
Dude, he would have. That's like another player that I could tell you that would have taken over Summit. Like if you look at Dean, like Dean's crazy, right? But I think what's special about the True Mortar is he's like a true, genuine Phil player. He could have played any role at a Grandmaster, like Masters level.
Rare. Yeah.
I think the only role he didn't play was like maybe support.
But that's the easiest one.
I think it was also the role like he didn't get filled into the most, which I thought was weird. I guess there's just more supports in Halo.
Yeah, Halo.
But yeah, so they wanted to make that Halo team. God, were we incredibly lucky. The amount of talent we had at Boise State was kind of unreal. So we had 3 controller players, and if you don't know, Halo is a game that is meant to be played on controller. There's just the way the aim assist works and stuff. And then we had the True Mortars are like one mouse and keyboard player. When they switched it so that they added aim assist for mouse and keyboard like a little bit, it ended up being Mortar was the first player to hit 2,000 rating, which, to give you perspective, that's like GM level in League.
Jesus.
Yeah.
As a mouse and keyboard player. He was the first player that I know of, and he's much more active on Twitter and social media and stuff. He was the first player I'd ever seen that was mouse and keyboard in Halo, because there was always this question of, oh, are we going to see mouse and keyboard at these LAN tournaments and at these college events? Because a lot of them actually end up playing on Xboxes, which, if you don't know, Xbox has like really bad latency for mouse and keyboard, so like pretty much no one uses it. So you have to have like dedicated PCs. So he's just a crazy player by himself. And then we also had Calvin, who was super competitive in Overwatch and Valorant, and then Zeke, who was competitive in Valorant. So we just had like 4 solid teammates and competitors, and we ended up getting 3rd in our first run as like a collegiate team out of 126.
Nice.
Damn.
That's not bad, guys. You're probably playing with more seasoned teams too. They're playing like Halo 5 and stuff beforehand, right?
So Halo 5 was a console only game. I don't know why collegiate is so reliant on PC, but I guess it's just ease of use. It also depends what school you go to. I think some schools specialize in like Switch games, and COD is like a console game.
It's funny you say that, because my school was the best Splatoon team for some reason. I woke up one day, I was like, oh, our Splatoon team won the national championship, but our league team is trash.
Our Rocket League team. I think our Rocket League team was crazy. Yeah, I was like, what, dude? What? You guys are like, you guys are going where? You're making nationals? Like, and it wasn't nationals for like collegiate. I'm pretty sure they made nationals for like all teams, like pro
that's
teams.
what I was about to say. They made the actual world championship.
I was like, damn, you guys are crazy. But no, I mean, Halo was such a dream. To put it in perspective, like just practices alone, you're probably locked in for like an hour and a half. Compare that to League, where like you got to be playing like upwards of 2-3 hours.
Yep.
So just the practices were shorter, vibes were better. There's like a easier kind of reset on just like getting into the next match, like what went wrong, what went good. And then you're always on an equal playing field with the other players, because you spawn with the battle rifle at the time. They've switched it up now, but the other players all have battle rifles too that they're spawning with.
That new gun sucks, man.
The Bandit.
I did not like it. I played a little bit of Infinite myself. I think I don't know. I peaked maybe whatever the higher end of plat is.
Yeah,
I think it was close to diamond, but yeah, no, I was not a fan of when they swapped it off of the battle rifle.
No.
Yeah. But no, Halo's crazy vibes. If I had to tell you which would I play, League or Halo, I would have chosen Halo, just on vibes alone. I think there's less. I was really good at both games, and I would have played Halo. It was just better vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Summit Esports wasn't hiring for Halo at the time, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, no, dude, it's just weird. Like esports, I used to look at Rocket League kind of negatively, you know. I don't know how you guys feel about other esports titles, but I was just like, dude, like they're just hitting the ball back and forth, and then you try to try to do it, and you're like, dude, this is hard as shit.
Yeah, Rocket, dude. I played it.
Plays it. And he's on mouse and keyboard, right? And that's one of those games
that's
also
insane.
meant to play on a controller, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's a much easier game to play on a controller.
So I'm watching him play on mouse and keyboard, and he's doing all these fucking crazy double tap, flipple, triple fucking knock it into wherever he wants to knock it in. I'm like, I start playing the game, I'm like, this shit can't be that hard. I'm like, I just like start doing like the flips. I start flipping my car upside down by accident just because I don't know how to do it. And I put like maybe 200 hours, and I still can't do the jump up boost, hit the ball as fast as possible, you know. So I think that also kind of gave me respect for a lot of different esports and helped me actually become a multi-esport athlete myself, you know, because it's like, okay, it's like the transferable skills in a way aren't always there. Like when I went from League to Valorant, there was some transferable skills. But like if I was just a League player and I didn't play Counter-Strike beforehand, I would have been terrible at Valorant. But because I was a League player and I played Counter-Strike, I was the best Valorant player when the game came out. I swear to God, I could have gone pro right there. But then the 12-year-olds caught up to me really quick.
Dude, I was goated at Halo for actually a period of time. I was pretty high up there, like I was playing in a lot of the pro lobbies. And then you just start getting like these kids that are just playing the most geeked like up play style I've ever seen, and it's like, dude, I can't hit my shot in these guys. And it's just like that, like, I don't know, their ability, effectively like drop shotting you, but like on every spawn, and you're just like, dude, like what? Like how are they doing this? And so like the True Mortar, the teammate who hit 2000 on mouse and keyboard, was the second highest rank in Rocket League, and then Grandmaster in League. So if you ever want to learn how to play like an esport title, I think you should reach out to the True Mortar if you can ever find him. He's crazy, dude. He's crazy. And
there's another guy who's like, I think his name's like Rohan God. Like he's done like all the Riot games, like Challenger equivalents. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that. I mean, it's just like, I'm not good at one game. Like, how do these people play 5 games naturally and they're just that good? You know what I mean? Like, I'm mediocre at League of Legends. I have the cheese to win sometimes. This guy just loads in, picks whatever role.
To transition into a little bit different topic, how do you so ever since the esports scene blew up, like huge, to the level that it's at now, you'd start to notice that new games that would come out, it just turned into who can min-max the fastest. It's really difficult to find a casual game nowadays. I mean, did you guys ever think about that, or did that bother you at any point? Because when I think it was around the time I started playing Counter-Strike a lot, I think I ended up, peaking at MG1, but then the drop of Valorant, that really made me notice how big of a change that esports had taken with how people approach video games now.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, when Overwatch came out, when I was about like 16, 15, that game came out and I was mostly playing it for fun, but like, I think there's like some itch to me that's like, I need to be good at this game that I'm playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate being the person that is bad at the video game in my friend group for some reason. When it was like Smash Brothers, I'd made sure my brother would get on after school and beat my ass in Smash Brothers so I can go home. When I go to school the next day and they bring their Wii U's or whatever, I'm good enough to play against them, Yeah. Same thing happened with Overwatch, and then it's literally how I started playing League of Legends. I was playing Counter-Strike, and one of my friends from school was like, yeah, Counter-Strike's an easy game. League of Legends is a hard game. And I told him I would be higher ranked than him within a month. Well, he was bronze, so it wasn't hard. All I had to do was play my placements. So, mission accomplished. But,
did it.
Yeah.
Esports is so different. I don't know how long you guys have been playing competitive video games, but yeah, you said play for fun.
No.
Stop. I don't remember the last time I
doesn't
I don't remember the last time I played for fun, bro.
I played to play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, true.
And we were still min-max.
Yeah. By the way, Rob. Yeah, that kind of went downhill because I ended up deleting the mods, and then it kind of screwed the whole thing up because now my mods didn't match everybody else's. So we got to go back to that.
Here's the thing. You remember I mentioned League. Tower 1's League addiction.
Yeah.
My best self and my worst self are like tied to how I'm doing in League of Legends. So I think a lot of my relationships and like what I'm doing in my day are affected by like my win-loss rate in League of Legends, sadly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day.
I mean, I can completely agree. Like, there's, time, or say for instance, we're mid-season and an important series comes up, and this was really evident in my earlier Summit time when I came into the league at Silver 4. A
newbie, bro, a freshie.
Yeah, no, literally, I had zero competitive experience in any video game. Granted, I didn't really have the problem on DPT when we were playing, Rob, just because I had more fun just playing on the team, and it was just really me getting my feet wet, but I think it was more evident on it's probably more GKC than anything, or even GPR, like early on, where I would just get absolutely stomped, and I'd get off the game. I'd be super bummed, down on myself, and I just kind of like shut down for the night. And it absolutely affected like how I was interacting with my girlfriend, or just how I would be for the rest of the night. And it sucked. I hated it, but.
You know, I've been talking to my girlfriend about that, because there's sometimes like she knows what's wrong with me before I do, and I'm like, and then I have to think, did I lose in League of Legends today? And you know, like that's it's kind of a humbling thing in a way, because like if you really like sit down in a good frame of mind, you think about that, you're like, it's just fucking League of Legends. Like you can probably think of like realistic things why you lost that game. Like I remember I was mad yesterday because I had a 25 kill Akali game, but my Graves jungle was going 1 at 15, and I was upset I lost that game. When I have no reason to be mad. I did everything I could to win that game, you know?
Yep.
I had a game where I was 4-0-2 on Ashe. I had already killed the Graves 2v3 twice that like came to gank us, and he was 0-2-0. He still 1v1 me later as 0-2-0 Graves, and I was 4-0-2, and I went, bruh, like why am I playing this dog shit, bro? Like he smoke screened me and I had no flash, so it's like I have to spend like 2 auto attacks like while Graves is just like shitting on me, walking out of it. It's just so toxic, bro. Like sure, I shouldn't have ever been in that situation, but I thought like the 1v1, you know, it just kind of works. Like,
I've done a lot of good work this game.
I've already killed this guy twice. He's like completely out of the game, but he just 1v1s me, and I'm like, he had Yomus and boots.
This is a stupid question, but do you think soccer players or something also have this? Oh, he's just fucking sliding, bro. Like,
Yeah,
dude, I've out dribbled this guy like 15 times, and now he's slide tackling me. Like
the audacity of this man.
Do you think you'd have this no matter what game you played? You know what I mean? Because like if I switch over to Valorant, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, the no scope on the Marshall shouldn't have fucking hit me because it's no scoping on a Marshall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll be like, that's dumb. And I'm like, and especially if I'm doing well and I'm like, I have a rifle and full armor and he just one shots me across the map, no scope Marshall, I'm gonna be like, great. But you know, like, I feel like it, like as gamers, like we're so quick to jump to that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's hard to. It's like why a lot of people have like the mental game of League of Legends. A lot of people beat themselves in League of Legends. You know, because it's like
there's a shopkeep or just get emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that with a lot of stuff IRL too. Like, I'm a very, and I'm sure everybody in Summit, especially you two, could relate. We're very, very competitive people. So like golf, for instance, I took a lot of time when I think it was last year. I spent a lot of time working on getting better. I actually ended up improving really significantly, but even, you know, playing around a golf, you have a couple bad shots and you're immediately like, oh, I fucking suck at this. Like I'm doing something wrong. I have no idea what it is. So like I suck.
Yeah.
I am my own worst enemy. I'm also my biggest ally when I'm doing well. So whether or not that's exactly tied to like my win-loss rate in League, I wouldn't say so. It's just like my ability to like make a positive impact in the game. I think there's some games that are just unwinnable.
Yeah.
But when I lose agency is like, that's a problem. And in Halo, I always had agency. I can just shoot my gun better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's like a more of an even playing ground there.
I can just drop shot him.
Yeah.
I can't. Because like I'll share this with you guys because I was talking to my therapist about this and I was like, you know, he and then like we talked about basically what we just talked about, and he was like, I think you're putting your self-worth into this video game a little too much, you know.
Oh
yeah,
100%.
I was like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like I determine my like value as a player, or like people don't want to play with me because I'm playing mid lane and I'm worse than the GM mid laner. Go figure. You know what I mean? Like and
exactly
I'm going
how
home
I
and
felt.
I'm like,
yeah, exactly how I felt role swapping.
That's why I don't role swap, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm too scared.
But I was thinking about that. because before my recent series, and I don't know if you both of you watched the series, but I'll say I played pretty dang well, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Dude, the Skarner kill. Dude, you deserve that.
Into the
Skarner
double
Zoe?
like
Yeah.
you took his flash because he flashed. You flash over Raptor wall and then get the double kill under tower.
That was pretty sick,
It was
honestly.
great. Yeah, it was so cool.
And then first timing the Kassadin into 4 APs. God, how does he do
honestly,
it,
I
dude?
played the Kassadin
Who is
pretty
this
badly. I'm not gonna even lie. But
You
my
won the
point
game, bro.
is, before that series, I played like 10 1v1s with Gumby. I died first blood 9 times. You know? So I'm just sitting there, I'm like if I really think about it, like if I get down to the lowest point of those 1v1s, I was just telling myself I don't have it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I'm getting shit on. Like I'm Eing in a Silas into like 40 creeps just hitting me, and he's just autoing me to death while I'm trying to dodge his abilities, and I'm just dead. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss that wave anyways. And he's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm just outclassed.
I just egoed you. Yeah, I 100% feel that way about bot lane. I'll make the most silly decisions because I'm just like, dude, I just need to fight them. I just need to fight them. And then I get flash Shane, and I don't have flash, and I'm like, huh? now there's support is flashing on me. What the fuck?
But
you can do that?
in a way, I kind of the thing I've been working on, and not just in like League of Legends, but like in my entire life, is like, you know, I definitely I know I am outclassed when it comes to like Gumby and stuff, you know. But like when I think about it, there is definitely positives to that. You know, there's ways to turn that into like definitely like a learning experience. And a lot of the time, like when I was unable to learn how to be better at League of Legends was like when I was unable to turn it into a learning experience, you know, when I would just get down on myself and be like, I'm a D4 peaker for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm stuck. And I feel like a lot of people definitely get into that. And I definitely think it's not just like a gameplay thing. I think it's like, if anything, 90% mental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% agree. I think
That's why I feel like challenging myself by role swapping is one of the best things I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that was one of the
stupid every
reasons
time.
that I had. Yeah,
Yeah.
like moving from top lane to support. Like I've played support in the past. I was a support main for like 3 seasons, but you know, again, I was like a silver surfer for the entirety of my league career.
So first,
And,
who said that first? Was that you? That's a good one.
But,
that's my Halloween costume, actually. The silver.
But yeah,
That's crazy.
I do find myself at a lot of instances like second guessing myself just constantly while I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, this is what I should be doing, but am I gonna fuck it up? And then I either do it and quite like hesitate when I do it, so I do fuck it up, or then I just don't do it at all, and then the opportunity's missed. So it's just like putting that amount of trust in yourself to know that, you know, even if I were to do this and I fuck it up, at least I was committed and I was confident in what I was doing. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to like the mentality of changing up your play style. So that's the one of the things I'm really excited about, you know, playing a different role now, is showing that I have that ability, if not to play even better as a support than I did top lane.
I believe in you.
You also don't have to play against a GM top and then get put on an island as well. That's also like a positive.
Yeah, that's another thing, is like I role swapped off of top lane after playing against probably the highest tiered players last season, and then the tier dropped significantly, and then I move into
support, and
the
like
probably some of the highest tier support players now. So I'm just seeking out that challenge.
Last season, it was because it was the easiest role.
Yeah,
Why
true.
do you think I chose mid this season? It wasn't the easiest role because I'm not playing top lane, but it's the second easiest role.
Yeah. So I am excited.
No, for real. I guess this is a bit of a topic change, but I want to ask you, Rob, do you have a favorite team outside of your team this season?
Okay, I don't think it's a surprise, but I'm really happy with how the 1,000 year dynasty.
Yeah.
The Dean's team. It's Luden, Dean, SK Evaps jungle. Their mid Flash of Night. Top lane is VLN. And I don't know, because they stream. Part of it is they stream their comms, so like I don't know. You feel like a more personal connection. Yeah, it's hard. It is hard to root against them. They're just so positive, and
I know.
Like it is nice to know that Dean is doing well on another team. And I always thought he was going to do like well, but I think most people were like question marking this team. Now, how well will they do in playoffs? Who knows? You know, I think a team like Gumby Power is probably going to have a pretty high impact mid lane versus Flash and Knight, and we'll just see what happens. But no, I think what their team is doing, what they're accomplishing, and how they're playing the game. I mean, Dean's doing the same thing. Oh yeah.
They're having fun, and that's kind of like what I love about them in a way. You know, like it is like almost if Power Friendship wasn't a team name, this team could be Power Friendship, and you know, the 4 Ninja Turtles and Dean could be Master Splinter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That meme was good. Yeah, I like that. VLN's got a good eye for meme content.
No, he's a funny guy, honestly.
Yeah, he was on the climb with us. I was hesitant about, because I mean I had never talked to him prior, and I think a couple of days prior to that was him kind of like fending off like 10 people who were going at him for his performance against Owen, and then
why
that guy was taking no shit, because a lot of it was I can't remember if he was defending his play against Owen, but he was like, oh, my 20 CS at 10 minutes didn't matter because my team carried me or whatever. But a lot of people were just kind of giving him shit for it. But that guy's really well spoken. He's super knowledgeable about the game, but super cool guy.
He's very quick with it.
Yes, definitely. And I'd say that apart from 1,000 Year Dynasty, I think that Elo Surfers is probably my favorite team. I see they have a lot of resemblance to GPR when we won last season, just like as far as role skill. Apart from like looking at their team on paper, you'd think that they were stomping every single series. Like, I mean, Solpan, Gumby Power, and then Affection and GamerD bot lane, and Isodact doing similar to what I did and just holding it down the top lane.
We love that from our top laners in Summit.
Absolutely.
Hold it down. We can lock in the Ornn. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that guy's played Zach every game so far. Nobody's banned it.
And he's not complained once.
Like, Zach is obnoxious.
Zach, it's open.
Yeah, it is. It's very obnoxious.
That's what I love about the lower elo players that are coming into the tournament. They're so eager to play, you know, and just no matter what the circumstance, like none of them are complaining about like getting put on tank duty or anything. You know, I was talking to Beartail a lot, and I think for my answer it would be the Wawa Warriors in a way, because like, and a lot of it is just like, I know Beartail's so uncomfortable playing top, but he is grinding his ass off trying to learn how to play top lane and play it just so he's not sandbagging his team. And Morn is always with him trying to coach him up and make him the best top laner that he can be, you know. And like those are the kind of teams that I love to see. And you know, I'm gonna watch this. One of those teams that were a lot like that were the Roblins, Goblins, you know. And
dude, Kobayashi. Sorry, I'll let you continue.
Yeah, but one of the things I want to talk about was the beauty behind teams like that, you know, that play together consistently. You know, it's like they start from the bottom, they probably lose a couple games, like maybe they're strong on paper. Rob's Gobs was strong on paper, but you know, like throughout the season, like me and Solpan's team were like supposed to beat you guys, and then we played you guys and didn't work, and then Beaver Brigade came out of nowhere and beat you guys, and it was like a crazy storyline, and then you guys start playing more and more flex after that, you know. So like it's definitely like the thing about Summit is it's what you put into it you get out of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, last season
we earned it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we earned that win.
I don't think y'all win if y'all just don't play together, you know what I mean? Like if y'all just showed up once a week for the game, I don't know if y'all win the
Oh
entire
no,
thing.
not at all. Yeah, I mean picks, just the way we played. Kobayashi put so much time on tanks and solo queue. Like we tried Trundle, we tried Mordekaiser, we tried Ornn, we tried Shen, we tried
It was
Tom Kench. Dude, it was the catfish, man. That guy's crazy.
With the
Yeah.
That guy's crazy. Yeah.
Well, speaking of past seasons, I mean, I'm gonna gas up my own team from last season because the Cinderella run that was made
That was
by
crazy.
GPR
It was crazy to watch.
was unreal. Like we thought going into playoffs, we were just like, okay, well, this probably not gonna go very far, and then
Well, then y'all played the 8th seed, and it went to
yeah,
5
we
games.
played the 8th seed, went to 5 games, then played the Gauntlet, went to 5 games, and then we 3-1'd the 1 and 2 seed, and ended up winning the league. It
Maybe
was
the lower seeds were better the entire time.
it
Y'all didn't
was
play us, though. That's all I'm saying. Y'all didn't play
That's the one thing I don't like about competition is when you don't play the team you wanted to play. I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but that happened to us in Halo multiple times because we went to a bunch of tournaments and like you just start to build this camaraderie with people that like are on other teams and like you like recognize them and then like you see them for the first time at an event like in person. It's just crazy. And then you find out you're on like opposite sides of the bracket and the only way you can play is like both make it to finals. It's like
and then they get upset
Damn.
or something. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
fuck. That ruins
Just
everything.
really wanted to play them.
You know, part of me really wanted to you know, I was in trash talk earlier and I was like, dude, give me Elo Surfers. And I was kind of joking because like I know Gumby will roll my shit. But then I was thinking about it, I was like, I low-key want this to happen because the first person who ever talked to me in Summit was Sulpan. He put me on his team when there was the auction draft. And, you know,
Yeah.
and I had it was such a like welcoming environment that he brought me into, you know, and I'm kind of thankful in a way because like without him I wouldn't have been able to meet so many cool people and felt so wanted, you know. But I would love to beat him, you know. Like I would love to just be like, he was critical of me of the climb. He was like, yeah, what happens when a Ray doesn't play Hue, guys, you know? So like in that way, that's the beauty of it, you know. He took me, he kind of like raised me in a way here, and then he like, I'm a bird flying, and I'm making my way back town, and now he's gonna see the big ass bird I've become, you know.
yeah. I'd give the same shout out to Gar. I'd say that first season I signed up, if I'm not drafted by Gar, I don't think I'm on this podcast with you guys.
Yeah,
Gar is
great captain.
great person.
Love
He's-
Great captain, great
and,
person.
That's my
awesome
top
person.
laner.
You know, obviously me playing on my 3rd season with him, but yeah, like I said, if he doesn't give me that shot in my first season where I signed up, let alone drafting me, like for one of the first people he drafted was insane. And that, yeah, I mean, going out and playing a couple seasons with him and then winning, and now I'm back on his team. It feels like he's my
It's like
boy.
clockwork.
Love him to death. Yeah.
I am-
like, sorry, but real quick. In a way, it's like Sopan could have picked a Murph, a Heiko, like a known quantity, but he rolled the dice on me, and that's the thing that I got inspired when I created my team this season. You know, like, can y'all name?
Rookies and cream.
Yeah.
Can y'all name a person on my team? I mean, not to leak. Rob got to experience how good Pony was today, and you know
She good. She good.
real good. But most of the people wouldn't give them the time of day because they're a D4 peak support, you know. And I think it's like the epitome of what Summit is in a way, you know.
Yeah.
It can be the best thing ever, or you can have a one season Andy who goes on and does something else with his life right after.
Yeah, it's the highs and lows because there will be a season every now and then where like you're on a team and it's just not working.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't vibing, people aren't trying, and then you'll get picked up by another team, and it's a complete 180, totally different experience. People have passion, people are driven. You have good teammates, you have good mentors. So I've been fortunate. I've kind of forced the hand by like being a captain, but building teams, I've loved pretty much everyone I've played with. I've had very few bad experiences in Summit.
Same.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Do you think like that competitive nature came from like like when it comes down to your competitive nature and like how it meshes into the team, do you think like it rubs off from your own competitive nature will like be like, okay, like maybe your top laner's like, all right, like I see how committed my captain is, you know, I'm gonna put a little extra into it. I'm gonna give it 110. You think like that's an effect Summit has as well?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Dean is for the first couple of years that I knew him, he was not a mentor. And it's not because he couldn't, it's because he didn't know how. The level that he was playing at was too high to dumb it down to a player that was like D3, D2 at the time. The Dean today that, you know, is silver surfing, but in Grandmaster or Master Elo, is a better Dean when it comes to mentoring and coaching. And we already see it in the 1,000-Year Dynasty. So I think Summit forces good players to become mentors, even if they didn't initially plan to. And that's just because the draft kind of happens that way. You'll have low elo players on your team. And I think that's something special that Summit does that not a lot of other leagues can do, because they'll kind of force the worst players out by like putting them in a separate division.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting this season to do the point value system for the draft, because it forced teams to draft lower elo players with high elo players, and you just kind of like see that dynamic of like who's mentoring who.
And at the same time, I think it even goes the other way. If it turns higher elo people into mentors, it also turns lower elo players into obviously much better players, but it pushes them to be better, because obviously you don't want to be the low elo player of the season that's dragging your team down, rather than, you know, doing your due diligence. Like, you know, we talked about Baratel. I'm sure Isodact and VLN are doing the exact same thing. You know, you want to be that low elo player that can turn the tide and be the, you know, the X factor that puts your team over others that have, you know, low elo players who aren't doing doing their part.
I think it also just like, that's what has probably been the greatest thing for a lot of the lower elo players, just like to see the improvement that they get and like get their accolades. I know you, Brissy, have been one of those people who've gotten like 95 paper. Like if Martin
Dude,
Luther
the paper
had
plates, oh my god,
you have 95 paper plates on your wall, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
I do.
Brissy, I love you.
Yeah, I do take great pride. I take great pride in the efforts I've put in my time of Summit. I mean, I did, you know, reach out to a lot of higher elo players. I tried to put the work in, and it did pay off. I mean, you go back and look at the finals last season. I feel like I performed pretty damn well for someone who had, you know, started playing top lane, you know, less than a year before that.
You were supposed to be playing best. You were playing against the best top laner of that season too, and it wasn't like you were getting
Briz
gapped. You were contending.
You had a triple kill as Ornn top, like 2v3 or 1v3.
Yeah. It's 2v3. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. When we talked about it at the beginning of the episode. After that final series, I went back and I watched not Nico's VOD. I can't remember whose VOD it was, but I watched it over and over and over again to watch that play. Oh,
those
no,
moments.
It was the Summit. It was the Summit official.
Dude,
but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that completely. And like, the thing I love about being a captain in the split is seeing that unfold on my own team. We've like, in a way, I've already experienced it in a way, because like, I have my own Brissy this season, you know. Pat's thick, you know, he's putting in a lot of work. I mean, he has professional coaching like type of work. Like, he's been working really hard, and we're seeing it.
Good for him.
You know, he played against the second best top laner, and he was like 1-to-1 ratio on the CS. Like the 1v1s he was dying in, you know, like he was barely dying in. It was like 1 HP diffs, and then he was solo killing the other guy on the. And it's just like, in a way, I'm already so proud. And it's like, I feel like I've almost became a butterfly in a sense. Like, I was a caterpillar when I played AD carry, you know, like, because like I was the nobody. I had almost like zero say. Like, I had a say in how my game was played, but it wasn't like I was teaching anybody how to play. You know, it was like a lot of those factors were put onto me. And then I play support the next season. It's kind of a mix of both. You know, me and Korai, shout out Korai, we were figuring things out for a while. We were like cooking up together, and now I'm in a season where I have people who rely on me, and that's kind of a scary thought in a way, you know, like, and that's where the most pressure comes on, because like, what if I play bad, you know, like, that's not a moralizing thing for my team to see, but it's also like kind of hopeful because I see my plat 4 top laner solo killing their master's top laner. And I'm just like, oh, dude, what am I worrying about? You know? So it's like, it's a double-edged sword. And it's definitely something I'm going to have to figure out as the season progresses. But, like, has that happened for you, Rob? You know, you had, like, I imagine with Lord Kobayashi for a way, you, like, maybe you had lower expectations going in. He was auto-filled top lane. And then it's like, doesn't that thing kind of bring you confidence into your own game?
Oh, we knew probably on the 3rd or 4th week that Kobayashi was a special player, just based on the amount of drive they had to try different things. I remember that was always me and Dean did a lot of chatting back and forth on like what direction we thought we should take the team or like what people should be playing. And Kobayashi always had well, I know we'll play it, so let's try it. And that kind of comes back to like, let's put them on like 6 different top laners and just see what works and what doesn't. So it's, yeah, as like, you can have a good mentor, but the student has to be good and driven. So like, you can be a good student basically. Yeah.
Let's not make it like Whiplash, actually.
Yeah, no. Dean's so positive. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to get mentored by him, he's funny. He's fun.
One of the first things I was asking Luton, I was like, does Dean talk in your games? Like, is he laughing? And he's like, yeah, dude, he's laughing. I'm like, I thought he would want to kill you by now. Like,
no, he used to. Like, that was early days in Boise State. But again, kind of like before he learned how to do the mentoring. He was genuinely really frustrating to play with because he would always dodge around the subject of like, what could we have done different? And it's because like the question I'm asking is like, well, what do you think I should have done? And like, well, can you just tell me what I need to do? And when you play the game at a high level, you can't stop to think about what you're doing. You just do it.
Yeah.
So he can't stop to think. He's playing it at such a high level. There's no time. He's always thinking about like the next thing that's coming. So no, you definitely have to teach himself and like take a look back and like boil things down to their essence, and then regurgitate it to like a top laner like Kobayashi. And I don't know, that's a special skill. It's a skill that I've witnessed and lived through Dean, but it's not a skill that I have. And to boil something down to its essence and like figure the game out on like a basic level, and it's something that's repeatable in every game. So Dean is a special player for a lot of reasons, but I think that's something that he developed at a time at Boise State. So with me specifically and other players, but we were support AD. So
I think it's interesting because like, in a way, I have to be a dean for my team in a way, you know, and like, it's a daunting task because like, do I have the accolades? Am I even that good of a player to be that person? You know, and you don't know until you try, you know, and like, the thing is like, you have to have the confidence behind it, you know, like if I didn't have the confidence behind it, like how is anyone going to learn? How are we going to do anything together, you know? We're just going to show up every day on Saturday and then like hope we win, you know?
Right. Yeah.
How can win, you know? And it's like, you know, I'm not saying I had no faith in my team when I drafted it. It like when I first drafted the team, like I probably got like 2 of the players I really wanted, you know? And so I was like, part of me like had a confidence issue, you know, going into it. I was like, I don't really know anyone, you know. I definitely wanted to draft some people that were like I knew, but then, you know, like seeing the confidence gleam from them these past couple weeks, and it's only been like 2 weeks, you know, and it's just like I get the itch to play at work now, you know. I'm doing draft prep I'm on the toilet at work, you know. It's just like, it's crazy I'm doing all this for $20 potentially.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that goes to show.
Surely it's a little bit more than $20, but I mean, I know what you mean. Yeah. Ooh, 36.
I don't know. 14 teams, man. I think at the end of last season, the pot was probably double or quadruple that.
What'd you get last season? Are you allowed to
was like- I
leak
think it
your
was-
earnings?
I think it was like $80, $85, something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Dude, there was a there was a season where people were donating to the prize pool. Can we bring that back? I
Yeah,
keep
we definitely got some oil
DMing.
barons, bro. Like,
I keep DMing people that like work in Summit, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, like, let's do donations for the prize pool, because
Strand, when you're
that season was crazy. I don't know. I think it's something that's positive, and it just gives people like a more reason to perform and be driven.
Yeah.
Just monetary, like, hey, you worked hard, and you know, here you go.
Yeah.
Honestly, we'll always put in hundreds of hours over like what we get at the end of the day. I don't think we're gonna play for.
Yeah,
You're not gonna make back the money that you spent playing League, but it's nice when it works.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there could be zero money involved, and I would still probably play.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, do we admit that they're
Wow,
gonna take away the prize pool,
$80.
guys?
Dude, I can buy like 2/3 of GTA 6 when it comes out. Like with that $80. I think we're nearing the end of it, to be honest. I think this has been. Look at that cat.
She's
Cute cat.
adorable.
Yeah, post more cat pics or pet pics in general.
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
We'll do.
The other some chats are underutilized.
Adventures. I agree,
We need a
100%.
cat pics chat.
Or like what happened today, where the scoreboard turned into General 3.
Are we mad about that? I'm sorry. Like,
I saw 500
trash talk is just
messages.
general too.
Yeah, true.
General 3 wasn't in General 2. I remember the thing I was going to say before, quickly. I was like, we need Colin to sell his house so he can start contributing to this prize pool.
Yeah, true.
So if
Somebody buy that
anybody's out
guy's
there
house.
listening, hit up Gamer Destroyer for a house, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
This
I
was a
think
joy. I really enjoyed this.
This was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me as your first guest. I
think it was
I hope that everyone has time to share their experience at Summit and like coming, like how they got here, where they've been, where they're going to. I'm not really sure where I'm going to, but I'm just enjoying my time here on Summit, and I hope people. Yeah.
Final
You
boss
are-
to the moon. We're gonna
Let's just make it to the rocket ship first, you know.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
true.
Yeah.
We're gonna have you back in 6 or 7 weeks when the whole thing's turned around and everyone was like,
Oh,
I told
we're-
you final boss of the best team to begin with.
Dude, yeah. Ray saw it today, dude. I've been cooking. We got some snake oil that I'm selling. The team is invested, bro. We're working on it.
It's crazy. No leaks. This is what they're cooking
love
right
that.
here.
Yeah.
This is
Some rat type beat.
some rat magician type. This is us. This is the rookies of cream. We're the.
You guys are. Hey, it was fun to play you guys today. Hey, shout out Pony, by the way. Super undervalued support. Wow, well done.
Well done. I think that's it for us. Thank you, Brissy, for
Thank
coming
you.
on here.
I
and set this up.
appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you having me as, I guess,
Co-host,
technically
yeah.
co-host. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank
It's good to see you on
Rob.
another content piece. I think you deserve all the paper plates.
I
We're
hope I
not
don't
getting
get
those things.
I don't want any more.
Sometimes
I got no more room in my cupboard for those fucking things, man.
I feel like X-Ray bought the plates himself, the way he be pumping out these contents.
Yeah, true.
But I think
I hope I can prove myself enough on support to stay decently high in the power rankings, but I don't want any more paper plates.
Fair enough.
That was it. I was about to say, was the tension too much?
No, I loved it. I loved it. But,
Did your ego blow up?
yeah, but when Rob started, oh, everybody just glazing Brissy. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, now
Yeah, I'm gonna become Brissy's biggest. Yeah, I'm gonna become Brissy's #1 anti-fan.
Yeah.
I can't do it though. I'm not that type of beat, but we'll figure it out.
I love you too, gentlemen.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be
you
seeing
guys.
y'all later.
Love you, Summit.
Bye, Summit.